Hey, hi, hello, welcome back. Hello YouTube, welcome back to YTNews. This video, if you can't tell already, is gonna be one cringe fest of a video. Because we're gonna be looking at the compilation of feminists being absolutely cringe. Now let the cringe begin. We're starting things off with the clip of the always controversial Milo Yiannopoulos. On this occasion, he is tearing down the argument that a feminist journalist was making about women having the same intellectual properties that males have. This disputes the journalist's claims. Yiannopoulos brought out science and proved that her argument was just simply not true.
One gender is encouraged to pursue, a sport or an art more so than the other. And actually, when you look at my colleague at the Telegraph, Radhika Saghani, she wrote a piece just this morning speaking to young girls who play chess, and actually what she found out is that they're dropping out at the age of 12, probably because they're not encouraged, or there's an environment around that's telling them that it's not for them, it's not cool, etc., etc. So this hardwired brain stuff, like it's retro sexism.
As you can see, her reasoning behind why females are dropping out of chess classes is that the environment caters more to males. And well, Yiannopoulos actually agrees with this, but only to a certain degree. And then he just hits a home run to prove her wrong, once again.
From experiments that we do on young children before they've had the opportunity to be socialised, the sorts of toys that they go for. And that holds true actually for other bits of the animal kingdom as well. Some of the reason why girls drop out of STEM subjects at college and chess clubs is because they keep losing. And one of the reasons they keep losing is that it does seem to be the case that chess as a game plays to some of the male intellectual virtues. And when Simon Baron-Cohen talks about these, the way he describes it is men are good at systematising and women are good at empathising. And there is some reason to suppose that may have some basis in biology.
In this next clip you're about to see, we have Ben Shapiro, who gets asked a question by a feminist on his thought about transgender people. Shapiro starts mentioning how gender isn't malleable and that transgender people should identify as their biological sex. But it is the last part of the clip that will absolutely crack you up. Check this out.
Pretending, or if I did, I shouldn't have said pretending, let me amend.
You said playing.
Okay, I said a boy who thinks he's a girl. That's the usual phraseology I use. Not playing. I usually say a boy who thinks he's a girl or a girl who thinks he's a boy, which is technically what we're talking about here. The idea that sex or gender are malleable is not true. Okay, and I'm not denying your humanity if you're a transgender person. I am saying that you are not the sex to which you claim to be. But if you are going to dictate to me that I'm supposed to pretend that...
As soon as Ben Shapiro finishes speaking, the girl jumped in and starts to oppose his argument about transgender people. Shapiro then responded with an analogy about how a transgender male shouldn't be allowed in a Boy Scout. And well, let's just say what she says next is pretty laughable.
Men are women and women are men? No. My answer is no. I'm not going to modify basic biology because it threatens your subjective sense of what you are.
Okay, but you're still saying these kids should not be accepted because they don't really fit in either place? They can't just
I'm saying that the Boy Scouts have a standard. You must be a biological boy to be a Boy Scout. You have to be a boy to be a Boy Scout.
Where's that written though? Okay.
In the name Boy Scouts. because
we have a former UFC fighter and champion in the form of Ronda Rousey. During a press conference, she got asked a question about if she's frustrated that in other sports, like soccer for example, women aren't getting paid as much as men are. When you hear Rousey's answer, I'm sure the journalist that asked the question regretted everything.
Rhonda, Lauren down here from the Herald Sun again. Just another quick one about Angela's question on equality just before. We've got quite a large pay dispute happening with our Australian women's soccer team at the moment. Is it frustrating for you as someone who's so prominent in your sport, and we heard you say on the Ellen show the other day you are the richest fighter in UFC, that sort of thing is still going on?
I bet the girl that asked the question expected Rousey to be on her side since she was obviously a female, but she was incredibly surprised that I'm sure she was embarrassed too. Rousey made an amazing point and said that she felt like an athlete should be paid in portion of how much money they bring in, not just get paid equally because of their gender.
How much you get paid should have something to do with how much money you bring in. I'm the highest paid fighter, not because Dana and Lorenzo wanted to do something nice for the ladies. They do it because I bring in the highest numbers. They do it because I make them the most money. And I think that the money that they make should be proportionate to the money that they bring in.
Now we have an interview that happened on BBC. There was a debate going on between two guests and they were arguing about feminism. Things got really crazy towards the end of the show. And one of the guests seemed to be against feminism and made a statement that really rubbed the feminists the wrong way.
Really have a right to be treated respectfully.
We are unfortunately running out of time, but Peter, I just want to get one final thought from you. Are there words that are used to describe men that offend you?
Not particularly, and if there are some I don't like, I certainly wouldn't want them banned, but it always goes back to that old adage, sticks and stones may break my bones, but there will always be something to offend a feminist.
Peter Lloyd.
No, that's just obnoxious.
Peter
Sorry,
Lloyd,
you have to give me a chance.
We'll let you carry on.
That is ridiculous. No, hang on, I won't do your show again if you don't let me respond.
That, guys, is a really, really angry feminist. She was so angry to a point where she even threatened to never come back to the show again if she was not going to be allowed to respond to the statement. And if you noticed while all this chaos was happening, the guy that made her really angry has a cheeky grin on his face while watching her implode. Now we have a clip of a feminist saying that air conditioning is sexist. Yes, that's right, people. An air conditioner has the right amount of mental capacity to decide between males and females. What was funny is that this woman apparently can't read social cues because she failed to realise that the reporter seems to be mocking and making fun of her.
There it was. There I was thinking it was just me that had a problem, but it turns out it's the air conditioning that's sexist.
I know. So many women in our office have the exact same problem. You know, we just sit there absolutely freezing at our desks trying to type. You can probably tell I've got a cold right now, which I blame all on the AC. And so it's just so actually quite nice to see this research. It's just such a relief to know that there's actually proof that this is happening, that women, you know...
Can we just all agree that there's a bigger problem in this world than sexist air conditioning? How she made it all the way to Sky News to complain about this is quite incredible. I mean, We now end things off with a feminist who was going off and having a rant for a very long time. She was basically complaining about certain things that a journalist wrote in an article a little while back, and how it was wrong and those things should have never been said. But then when someone in the crowd posed a good question at her, well, she had a bit of an egg on her face after hearing it.
It's not true that to have a different opinion isn't the same as telling other people that they shouldn't have or they can't have that opinion.
Absolutely not. No.
The crowd went crazy. They were in an argument with the audience member and they just all clapped and cheered. The feminist had a really big frown on her face, as you could expect. Just one question from someone in the audience was enough to absolutely crush her. Those are some really cringy feminists. Which one made you cringe the most? Let us know down in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this and much more. Click on the bell notifications too so you get notified every time we upload a brand new video. We'll see you guys next time. That's it for now. And, take care. Until then, see ya.